Hey guys, Joe here at the Joe Madden Sports Podcast, joined this afternoon by Greg Peterson, host of the Greg Peterson Experience, betting the brackets, coast to coast hoops. What else you got going on, Greg?
We've also got the baseball betting show, which I do every day for VSiN. That's at the VSiN Bets feed. We've got a little bit of everything going on. I post up the spreadsheet at GUnit_81 for my handicap of every single day in the world of baseball. And we're starting college basketball previews on my podcast as well. So I'm
Awesome.
excited about that. And got the Big South come up in the next 48 hours.
Oh, that's super exciting. You've got so much going on your plate. And I know you're looking at a couple of baseball games for tonight. Before we get to that, how's the last week treated you?
Last week has gone pretty well. It's been a little bit of an up and down with regards to Major League Baseball. So all about adjusting. We wound up seeing in the early slate on Wednesday quite a few overs, and I wound up taking quite a few of those. So I was very happy about that. And you always like to see it when you wind up taking some run line favorites and they wind up being able to come through like the Houston Astros. That always sets up for a good morning.
Oh, it definitely makes us all happy. Now we have a game that's kicking off at 7:10 Eastern here between the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets. This is going to be an interesting matchup with the Brewers on the road, the favorite here. Total 7.5. What are you liking in this one, Greg?
I wound up rating this up for DK Nation. I was on the Milwaukee Brewers. I was willing to lay up to a minus 143. And if you're listening to this and you have yet to get down on it, I'm seeing a lot of places are offering this right around minus 128, minus 130. So I still like it there, even though when I wound up rating it up, it was minus 120. But big reason why I like this game, Corbin Burns on the road has been amazing. And I mean, I don't need to tell you that Corbin Burns is a pretty good pitcher. He wound up winning the Cy Young Award last season, but he's been even better on the road. A 3.07 home ERA ever since the beginning of the 2021 season where he won his Cy Young Award. On the road, it's a $177. And he's given up about 15 to 20% fewer home runs when he's been on the road rather than at home. He's got that 12 strikeouts per 9 inning rate over the last 2 seasons as well. And what's big about this game as well is that even though the Brewers wound up getting shellacked on Tuesday, and it's not been going well for them, they have been losers of 9 out of their last 10 because they wound up losing yesterday. That meant that they didn't have to go to the bullpen for Devin Williams or Josh Hader, guys that wind up coming into high leverage spots with a lead. Let's say that the Brewers are up 4-2, 3-2 in the 8th inning in this game. You know who's coming out of the bullpen. Devin Williams, Josh Hader, the best 1-2 punch in the 8th and 9th inning in all of baseball. And for David Peterson, for one, great name. My last name is Peterson, so I can always appreciate one that shares the last name. But that said, he's got an ERA of 3, but a fielding independent of a 4.12, which means that he's probably doing for a little bit of regression. He's been giving up 4.5 walks per 9 innings, so I do think that that's a little bit of a worry spot for me. So I do like the Brewers, and if you're looking at the total, I set mine a little bit south of 7 as well, so I also like the 7.5 under.
Okay, I like what you're thinking here. We know the Brewers have traditionally gone into New York and struggled, but when we've seen them match up against New York in the last 5 meetings, they have won 4 of those. So I think they have the pitching strength today with Burns starting. I think they're going to have a great game. Now, there's 4 more left on deck for tonight. What are you thinking? Do you have anything between the Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals, or the San Diego Padres and the Chicago Cubs?
I do like with regards to that St. Louis Cardinals and Pittsburgh Pirates game, Jack Flaherty on the run line. Right now, you're finding that run line with the Cardinals at a little bit of plus money. Most places I'm finding a plus 105. I think I'm seeing a straight plus 115 out there, but for the most part, you're finding a plus 105. I know that a lot of teams, after they wind up coming off of a either no-hitter or a near no-hitter, like we wound up seeing with Miles Michaelis yesterday, they tend to struggle. The big elixir to that, the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's not going well for them. They have scored 3 runs or fewer now, 8 out of their last 9 games. Ever since they wound up having that sweep against the LA Dodgers on the road, they wound up picking up a couple wins against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that has been it. I believe that they have won 2 out of their last 8 games, so it's been a little bit of a rough go of it. And for Jack Flaherty, don't expect him to go too far. He made 2 rehab appearances, only wound up going a total of 7 innings. Looked good in those 7 innings, but still just 7 innings. But with that said, St. Louis, they've got an above-average bullpen, and when you look at the Cardinals bullpen, one thing that you want to do, take out those couple of innings in which Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina wound up throwing because, well, those aren't necessarily the bullpen arms that you're going to be seeing in this game. Or if you are, you probably are going to be getting either that run line or some sort of an alternate run line of the Pirates because they're probably up by 8+ runs. So that's something that you're able to rule out. But I do think that the Cardinals going to be able to get to Roansy Contreras at the minor league level. He had a couple command issues. He's been doing a solid job here at home, but take a look at Paul Goldschmidt hitting at 340, Nolan Arenado, double-digit amount of homers. Guys like Juan Yepes and company that have come up for the team, Nolan Gorman, they've been solid for the Cardinals. So I do like them on the run line in the spot.
Yeah, we also see the Pirates just struggle against right-handed starters as well. Another thing I want to ask you, how much do you weigh into the fact that the Pirates do struggle on grass? We haven't seen them be able to win any of their last 9 games on grass compared to AstroTurf. Do you weigh that into your handicapping at all?
Not really, just because most ballparks, they do wind up utilizing grass. So it's not something that I make a big deal out of. And when it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates themselves, they play at an outdoor ballpark at PNC. So, they just wind up struggling all over the place. It is what it is with regards to Pittsburgh Pirates. So I don't really weigh that too much unless if you've got a team that traditionally they're playing in more of an indoor setting. Like maybe you take that more into account with a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, because that really comes into account with regards to their home and road splits. But a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, in which most of their games do wind up being on grass, it's not necessarily something that I make too much out of.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to ask you is some people get into the trends of the Friday night teams can't win or the Saturday teams can't win. Are you weighing that into your handicapping at all, Greg?
The one thing that I really do take a look at, Sunday Night Baseball. Teams that wind up playing on Sunday Night Baseball and then they wind up playing on Monday, they have a really, really bad track record. Like, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates and how bad they are. You may remember a few weeks ago, the LA Dodgers played on Sunday Night Baseball. They wound up having a game on a subsequent Monday, and then they wound up getting destroyed by the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I do think that is a very good angle to take a look at, because when it comes to teams that wind up struggling on Friday or Saturday, typically with regards to the way that rotations are set, you're going to see like 1 of 2, 3 different guys that they do wind up pitching on Fridays. So I take a look more at the starting pitcher itself. I don't necessarily weigh how a team winds up doing on Friday, but the one angle that I will take a look at is Sunday Night Baseball. And then on top of that, things like double headers, the way that a team winds up coming the next day. So more scheduling spots in general rather than the day itself.
I love it. Now there's 2 games left on the card at the end of the night here. Any thoughts in either of these? We have Cleveland taking on Colorado, and then we also have the LA Angels and the LA Dodgers. That's the last game of the night at 10:10 Eastern.
Well, when it comes to the LA Angels, it's going really bad for them. They have lost 16 out of their last 18 games. I mean, man, it's not great. It wasn't going great when you wind up having, ironically enough, Mr. Madden as the manager for that team. They wind up firing him, and it really hasn't improved. They tried to get Nickelback to be able to fire them up, and that's not a good strategy. I mean, you just look at that photograph, and it just makes you laugh. But I mean, with Tyler Anderson, 7-0 record, he's been able to do a very good job since getting thrusted into the starting rotation of this team. It seems like some of the Dodgers bats are starting to pick it up. Mookie Betts wound up having a big home run a little bit earlier in the series. I like the Dodgers on the run line there. And then interesting total between the Guardians and the Colorado Rockies. By far the highest one on the board at 12. I actually like it over. Connor Pilkington is giving up right around 5 walks per 9 innings. Liked what I saw out of him while he was at college at Mississippi State. I think that he needs a little bit more seasoning at the MLB level, and this is going to be his first time at Coors Field. And Austin Gomber on the flip side for the Rockies, last year wound up having a sub-2.2 ERA at home. This year it's more like a 6. He has been getting shelled. He's backed up by the worst bullpen out there in the big leagues. But with that said, it's a Colorado Rockies team that they're hitting right around a 275 at home. Cleveland Guardians, they strike out the fewest times on a per at-bat basis of any team out there in Major League Baseball. Typically, when it comes to these very high totals, I do like to take them under. But with the way that this pitching matchup is set up and the way that the Rockies just don't have any bullpen pitching whatsoever, I like the over. And I do think that it's going to be a rude first start for Mr. Pilkington over there at Coors Field. And I think that with Colorado, they've got one of the biggest home field advantages in Major League Baseball. So I'm also willing to lay a small price on the Rockies as well.
Yeah, it probably isn't a good day at the ballpark for him here. And I do see those balls flying as well. Should be a good game. I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight's baseball. We've got NHL. I was going to say NFL. I'm already wanting to talk football.
There's 2 seasons. There's football season, and then there's preparing for football season.
There is. And I can't wait. Who are you rooting for in the next football season?
I'm someone that grew up 45 minutes away from Green Bay. Coming just pretty much into this earth, you are born a Green Bay Packers fan if you are born in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, I'm sure that somehow, some way, the Green Bay Packers are going to wind up winning the NFC North. They're probably going to go like over their season win total, and then they will find a way to disappoint me in their first playoff game, because that is a cycle of life as a Green Bay Packers fan. I fully admit to it. I would rather take that rather than having a team that winds up winning 5 to 6 games every single year. But I'm sure that that's how it's going to be going. But regardless, I'll be wearing my green and gold, and I'm going to be rooting on the Packers.
Absolutely. I've got a cheesehead up there in the corner. I love your Green Bay Packers. So it's definitely going to be a great season coming ahead for them. But all the best on the bases tonight, Greg. Thank you so much for joining me here. Can you let everyone know where to follow you on socials, as well as what's happening on your shows this week?
Absolutely. At @GUnit_81 on Twitter. That is the hub for everything. I post up all my appearances on VSiN. The Greg Peterson Experience will be coming your way on Saturday, 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time, 10 to 1 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully, we'll still be having an NBA Finals going on. If we do, that means that we've got a Game 7. If not, well, we're going to be on to the NBA Draft, and we're going to be on to Summer League. But with that said, the NHL Stanley Cup Final, that is certainly going to be going on. I'll be taking a look at the wide world of Major League Baseball, all the trends that we're seeing there, and also going to be getting prepared a little bit more for the NFL season, starting to dive into a little bit more season wins there. And then with regards to my college basketball podcast, Coast to Coast Hoops, starting up on all my conference previews. I'm going to be doing one for all 32 conferences. And with that, diving into what is now more than 360 D1 teams. We've seen a couple teams go up for the D2 level. I'm going to be diving into every one of them there. And Big South preview should be up within the next 48 hours.
Phenomenal. You got great content coming out, Greg. You produce amazing shows. You guys make sure you go give Greg Peterson a follow on all his social outlets. Greg, thank you again for joining me here.
Joe, it is always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.